We have more now on our top story. The search for what a tipster claims could be the remains of Jimmy Hoffa under a Roseville driveway, even though police are skeptical, to say the least.
They got to check it out. 7 Action News reporter Julie Bonovich joins us live. And Julie, you've been talking to a former FBI agent about this developing story. What are you learning?
Yeah, that's right. He was actually the former FBI special agent in charge for the Detroit office during that Milford search. Dan Roberts, thank you for being with us. You were the special agent in charge from 2004 to 2007. What do you think is the likelihood that those are actually Jimmy Hoffa's remains in Roseville?
Well, it's interesting. I don't know the probable cause that they have to be there. I would say that the police department and the FBI has an obligation to follow up on all the leads, no matter how credible that they may be. And so I'm sure the police department is doing their proper due diligence and following up on all of the leads that they received in this. I certainly don't know what evidence that they have that takes them to that particular location in Roseville. But like we did in Milford, we had to follow up on all of these leads.
And when you do follow up on leads, what makes a tip credible? What makes it something that you know that it's something you need to go and search for?
Sure. Normally it's when it comes from more than one source. Like in Milford, we had several different pieces of probable cause that we pulled together that took us out to Milford for that search. I'm sure that's the case in Roseville. You wouldn't rely just on one tip unless it was very specific and very credible.
And when you were doing the Milford search, what made you guys think at that time that that could have been Hoffa at that horse farm in 2006?
Well, again, we had a number of credible tips that took us to that location. Part of that search warrant is still sealed by the federal district court, so we're unable to talk in detail about that. But I will say that we had a number of tips, a number of different pieces of evidence, probable cause that took us there. The judge agreed with us and signed off on the search warrant, so we looked there for him.
One last thing, one of our sources telling us that the tipster might have cancer and that's why he's coming forward now. What's the likelihood that there are some people out there trying to clear their conscience that were around when Jimmy Hoffa might have been killed?
Well, you know, I spent over 30 years in law enforcement, and I have seen that on several occasions, not just related to the Jimmy Hoffa case, that people that are on their deathbed or getting close to dying, or even witnesses that actually had nothing to do with the crime, but they knew about it afterwards. They're on their deathbed. They may want to get it off their chest, clear their conscience, and provide that information to law enforcement. That could be what's happening here. I just don't have the facts on the Roseville incident.
Okay, thank you, Dan, so much for being with us today, and we will have more tonight at 11. Julie Bonovich for 7 Action News.